Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over Winter Storm Bessie. So, in this one, we're just going to be talking about the winter impacts. We're also going to be talking about the rainy and stormy impacts. Then I am talking about like severe storms when I do say stormy. So the East United States will be seeing more of that stormy and rainy feel. And then as we do move across the central United States and also into the Great Lakes, we're going to have those colder temperatures, and we're also going to be having that snow set in place. Now, most of these regions already saw their first snow yesterday. We did see a little bit of a short clip of snow move through. I do know across parts of northeastern Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure they did see about 3 inches, so it wasn't anything too significant, but this one could be a little bigger than what we did see yesterday, and it will be bigger. Definitely, it'll be way bigger than yesterday's. And especially across the east. The east, we saw nothing from it yesterday, so this will be expecting a lot of the United States, from rain to snow, to wind, to anything like that, to really cold temperatures. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So I do hope everyone goes on to enjoy today's video. If you do, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below, and let's go ahead and get into it. So you can see in this lightest pink right here, we do have these winter storm warnings in place. This is where we'll be seeing the worst snow, the worst cold, the worst everything when it comes to snow and cold. We are seeing quite a bit of snow across these regions. I know Denver, you did see the snow moving a little bit earlier than expected this morning. So we are seeing bigger totals than we were thinking earlier on. So that is definitely something we are watching. We are seeing quite a bit of snow really falling throughout the day. We still do have quite a bit that will be falling on top of that as we do keep moving on through the storm. So that's what we're looking at in those pinks. And of course, those lightest pinks. The darkest pinks are our fire danger. California, we've been seeing terrible fires going on. But you can see across these purple areas, we do have these winter weather advisories in place. So this is where the impacts won't be as terrible. We'll definitely have snow moving in. Once again, they won't be too terrible across here. It'll be weakening when it's in these regions, but once it gets back up into these other areas, not those exact areas, but into these other areas, it'll get a little bit more significant again. But in these purple areas, that's our winter weather advisory. We'll still have that cold in place, and we'll definitely still have that snow in place. The totals won't be too significant in a lot of these regions, but we definitely will be seeing snowy and cold no matter what, but just on the lower side of things. It won't be as bad as those winter storm warnings, where we do have the worst of our impacts going on. So you can see across these blues right here, that's where we have our freeze watch in place. So our growing season will be ending. This is where it will be ending right now. This isn't going on. This will be going on over the next few nights. But we're seeing our freeze watch right now, which does mean it is the end of the growing season for many of those areas in the blue. If you do know what a freeze warning is, it's usually it's always for 32 degrees or below, because things do freeze. So the crops definitely do freeze. If you need to cover your crops, that is a very good idea. But if you can't, it is pretty much the end of your growing season there. So that is what that freeze watch is for. It'll just be getting 32 degrees or below, and it'll definitely be freezing a lot of your crops, which is not a good thing for farmers. But that's just how it is when we get into these fall and winter months for many regions across the whole United States. Except for your Gulf states, where it's always really warm, and other parts of the western United States. For example, California, where we don't see the coldest temperatures move on until later. So you can see how we do have on this radar right now. This is not the exact radar, but this is pretty close. So you can see we do have a lot of snow across parts of Colorado, parts of Nebraska. This does have it. Western Kansas, southern Wyoming. This is what it's going to be looking like this evening. You can see a little bit of a mix across some of these regions of western Oklahoma, the panhandle of Texas, and you can see we do have across the southeast some rain in place, and we also do have this risk for severe weather across these regions for this evening. Now, most of it is not going to be too terrible, but we could definitely be seeing a few isolated severe storms. Now, if we were to keep looking as we do move throughout your night, so this is going to be into your nighttime, and you can see how this mix line really does start to set up anywhere from Missouri down into the panhandle of Texas. We do definitely have this mix line setting up. Now you can see the rain to the west of it across parts of about across parts that just shot all the way through. But you can see this is going to be across Kansas, Nebraska. Also, as we do move into Colorado, most of the panhandle of uh, Texas, and you can see even across northeastern New Mexico, we will be seeing that snowfall throughout tonight. And you can see that cold air is starting to creep up, and we will see some snow across some of these regions in northern Illinois, where you do see that blue, because that does indicate snow. Now, if we were to keep looking throughout tomorrow morning, you can see the coldest air does keep moving north, and we do see some pretty heavy snows through a lot of these regions. We'll see pretty good amounts there, and you can see Chicago. You will definitely be in that rain snow mix. You can see you're right on the edge. So Chicago, you'll see rain, snow, ice, all that. But by the end of the day, we might see a few inches fall across some of these regions. But you can see where we'll see definite snow is right here. And we will be still picking up quite a bit of snow in Colorado. But you can see Kansas, the panhandle of Texas, also southern Nebraska. We are seeing that that snow, not rain, but we do have that snow falling down. And then you can see once again our heaviest snows are up here at that time, where we will be seeing quite a bit of heavy snow falling down. And then we see rain east of that. You can see it right here, rain east of that from a lot of that Gulf moisture. If you were looking earlier, hopefully you did see how that Gulf moisture did collide with that moisture coming from the west, and it created this pretty big storm. And you can see tomorrow, our biggest rains will be across here. And we will be definitely seeing some of that moisture coming up to parts of the eastern United States too, which you will see in a little bit. But you can see right here, as we do keep going on, you can see we do have a lot of these heavy rains across the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. And then we do have some snow still around for parts of Kansas, parts of Oklahoma. You can see northern Oklahoma, of course, even some snow showers for parts of Colorado. And then northern Missouri and maybe even southern Iowa. You can see this high pressure bringing a lot of cold air to the backside of the storm. Quite a bit of cold air. But if we were to keep looking, you can see as we do move into your Wednesday night, this is what we are looking at, also into your Thursday morning, which is Halloween. Of course, you can see we do have this snow across not western Missouri, pretty much all of Missouri we are seeing it, even into parts of eastern Iowa. You can see across central and northwestern. Sorry about that. Let me work my brain real quick. You can see across parts of central, western parts of Illinois, also northwestern regions of Illinois, we do have that snow in place, and then across southern Wisconsin, we do have that falling. You can see we have some rain across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, and then we do have this lining up where we could see some severe weather in those regions. And you can see how we do have some rain falling across. You can see the North Carolina mountains, and of course along the Smoky Mountains where we are in Tennessee. So if we were to keep looking, this is into later tomorrow morning. This will be your late morning, early afternoon. But you can see right here we do have the snow still falling across eastern and southern Wisconsin, Illinois, moving into parts of Michigan. We're seeing that colder air move in. It's northern Michigan, and we have rain for the rest. But you can see how we do have quite a bit of rain setting up for many people in these regions. We do have a lot of rain for many people, and then snow for other people, and we have cold air for other people, fire danger for California. So we do have a lot that we're watching right here. But this is our biggest threat on your Halloween. Now, if we're to move into later as we do move into later in your afternoon, and this will definitely be towards your Halloween night. So this is what you could definitely be expecting your Halloween night. We will go a little bit ahead of this because we want to get exacts, but some people do go a little bit earlier than a lot of people. So this could be your Halloween forecast for some people. Now you can see we do have some snow across northern Indiana. Also, as we do move into western Michigan, into eastern parts of Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and we do have a lot of rain for the northeast. Also, let's watch this line in them a little bit because that will cause some severe weather as we move east. And you can see this is going to be your Halloween night. For many people, this is what it will look like. But for a few people, the younger people do go a little bit earlier. Where they usually do take the younger kids because they don't want them to be out at night. That's what that just looked like. If we were to look over here, that's what that would look like for them. And then for when most people do go out trick-or-treating, this is your forecast. So you can see how we do have this big line of severe storms moving through, and our biggest threat will be right along these regions across right east of, maybe, you can see across the foothills of North Carolina, we do see it. And then north of that, we do see this line extending up into parts of Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia. Not as intense, but we do definitely have that going up there. You can see snow across Michigan, eastern Wisconsin, northern Indiana. Maybe even getting some snow showers into Chicago. And you can see how we do have a few snow flurries for parts of northern Kentucky, parts of Ohio. Nothing to accumulate, but maybe a few snow flurries around, which is a good taste of winter, and that's good. Yeah, I would love to have that on my Halloween, but you can see a lot of rain across a lot of these regions across the east, and then we do, of course, have that severe line that will be going from Pennsylvania to Virginia to West Virginia to North Carolina, and also into northern South Carolina, maybe even northeastern Georgia. You can see a little bit earlier on in the day we do see that moving in, so you'll see it a little bit there, but not as much. But if we were to keep looking later into, this will be your really early morning. No one will be out at this time, but this is what it will look like as you're sleeping. After you get home from trick-or-treating on Halloween, you can see snow across Michigan, across parts of the Appalachian Mountains in your highest elevations. We actually do have some snow around. Now, these aren't your exact, those aren't the Appalachian Mountains, of course. But you can see across here, we will see that fill in a second. But you can see snow showers around for parts of western Pennsylvania, parts of Ohio, parts of West Virginia. And you can see a lot of rain for the East Coast. Right along the coast, you can see some severe weather could definitely be happening across parts of northeastern North Carolina, parts of southeastern Virginia, but a lot of rain for the northeast falling as we keep going throughout your night. Now, if we were to look as we get into your morning hours, you can see we do have the snow across the Appalachian Mountains. Right along there, we have a lot of cold air in place. Definitely some snow falling. You see across here, we do have some snow falling from another clipper just coming across the upper Midwest. That's what we're looking at there. And you can see as we keep going forward throughout your Friday, this storm does definitely go away. Winter Storm Bessie is out of here, but it does bring a big impact to snow, rain, severe storms. We're going to have to see how bad this does get, how memorable this could definitely be as we do get out of the system. So that's definitely something to be looking at. So if we were to look at the Weather Channel's snow forecast, we're going to go ahead and look at it. So if you were to look into those, those medium purples right here and right around here, we do have those across those isolated regions and highest elevations. You can see across there in Colorado. That's where we could see an additional 8 to 12 inches on top of what we have already saw across there today. So that's an additional 8 to 12 inches in that medium purple, and then that lightest purple you can see extending across parts of Illinois into parts of Missouri, and just south of Denver, and quite a few regions of Colorado, including Pueblo. We do have 5 to 8 inches on top of what you've already gotten in parts of Colorado. And right here, we have already saw a little bit of snow fall down, especially up into here. But if you're in those lightest purples, any of these areas, it could be additional to what you've already gotten. Some of these regions did get some yesterday, so you do have to remember that. And some of these regions are already getting hit by the storm in parts of Colorado. So, 5 to 8 inches on top of what you may have already saw in those lightest purples. Now, as we do move into your darkest blue, that's where you'll see 3 to 5 inches. So here we'll definitely be seeing a considerable amount of snow definitely is falling here. You can see here's when the storm kind of weakened as it got down here. Colder air wasn't we didn't have as much of that cold air too. You do have to remember that across there, but you can see on both sides we do have that 3 to 5 inches. So this is when the storm kind of gets stronger, and that is what you're seeing right there. But if you notice, darkest blues, that's 3 to 5 inches of snow on top of what you've already gotten in parts of Colorado, maybe even northwestern Kansas. But of course, 3 to 5 inches in that darkest blue. In that medium blue, we do have 1 to 3 inches of snow around. That's in the panhandle of Texas, a lot of regions of northeastern New Mexico, as we do move into western Oklahoma, into southern Nebraska, southern Iowa, eastern Iowa, as we do move into parts of eastern Wisconsin, and even across a lot of these regions of Michigan, you can see. And we did even have that 3 to 5 inches across there. But 1 to 3 inches across these regions, as you are seeing right here. So 1 to 3 inches in that medium blue. There's a lot of widespread areas in that, especially as we do move across Kansas. And you can see Chicago. We do have a lot of people in Chicago. 1 to 3 inches, we have some rain mix. And then on the back of this, we will be seeing that snow coming. So 1 to 3 inches, do expect that on your Halloween. So if we were to get into the lightest blue, that's where we do have up to 1 inch. So this excuse me, this is nothing too significant, but it can still definitely do cause some problems. So if you're in that lightest blue, that is up to 1 inch of snow. So definitely do watch out for that. That's still something to watch. You can see across northern Indiana, we do have that around across a lot of these regions. This is going to be on your Halloween night. That's what we're looking at with those snow showers around. And then you do remember across parts of Ohio and Kentucky on your Halloween night, we could have a few flurries around, but you can see not accumulating to anything. Not expecting any accumulation across there. Okay, we're going to move into the severe weather and rainy part of this video. So you can see here we are in this marginal risk across some of these regions today, across parts of Texas, in your Waco area, your San Antonio area, you can see that Dallas area, and then also as we do move into southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, we do have it in place for your New Orleans area as one of the major cities across there in that marginal risk. Nothing too widespread, but a couple severe storms around today. Same deal tomorrow. We do have a few storms that could definitely be around tomorrow in this marginal risk from San Antonio, Texas to Austin, Texas to Shreveport, Louisiana, into Jackson, Mississippi, into Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Also, as we do move up into Louisville, as we do move into Kentucky, Cincinnati, you can see in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, right on the tip, but still, a possible severe storm around. But here's where we'll have a few storms around, nothing too widespread once again, but definitely do watch out for some storms to fire up there. Now, if we do move into your Halloween, you can see here we do have this marginal risk anywhere from Charlotte to Raleigh to Boone, North Carolina, and to Columbia, South Carolina. You can see as we do move up through Roanoke, Virginia, also Charleston, West Virginia. You can see as we keep going up, you can see very southern tip of Pennsylvania, we do have it. But if you're anywhere across these regions, we do have this marginal risk in place. I do expect this to be intensified. I do expect the category to go up. We definitely might see a slight or enhanced risk come in. I do definitely expect a slight risk to come in, as we were talking about earlier. You did see how that line did intensify on the NAM model. I almost called it a LAM model, but you can see how once it gets through here, we do see these worst thunderstorms move through. This is when we do get that line of thunderstorms to move through. So if you're anywhere across here, this is where we'll see the worst of our impacts with that severe weather, definitely. So there, definitely do watch out for right now. We're going to have to see how that does keep going. For right now, that's where we may see some of our I do expect some tornadoes, isolated tornadoes across this line of storms, but it will be pretty intense as it goes across. And of course, our biggest threat right now looking like this, anywhere around your right west of your Charlotte area. It'll also be moving into your Charlotte area. And then moving a little bit more east, you can see that line does move across North Carolina and even parts of Virginia throughout your night, even into your overnight hours. But you can see this would be on your Halloween night. Really dangerous for a lot of people in western central North Carolina for your Halloween night. Probably wouldn't consider going trick-or-treating there. Even parts of western Virginia into West Virginia, even southern Pennsylvania, southern central, of course. Just don't consider go trick-or-treating unless your forecast does change. But for right now, I would not, encourage it. Isolated tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail around. So definitely wouldn't encourage it. Okay, if we were to move into your rain accumulation, we will talk about severe weather in another video. I may do another update on the severe weather if it does get worse in your Thursday, but I should actually have a cool down video tomorrow possibly, and then a Halloween forecast your Thursday morning before Halloween does, before everyone starts to go out. But I do want to just give an overall summary. There's too much area to cover on this, but if you're anywhere in these greens, that's 1 to 2 inches. If you're anywhere in these darkest blues, that's where you'll see about ½ an inch to an inch. And then in those medium blues, you'll be anywhere across 1/4 of an inch to ½ an inch. And then in your lightest blues, nothing too much there. You'll be 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. And then in those yellows and oranges, that's anywhere from 3 to 4 inches, maybe even 5 inches for some people. But 3 to 4 inches across a lot of these regions, you can see, even across some parts of here. And you can see across western New York, even right here, you can see a little bit. So it's pretty isolated, but 3 to 4 inches in those yellow areas, definitely not out of the picture. But yeah, guys, I hope you all did enjoy today's video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. Flooding, rains, snow, We are actually seeing some winds that I did not cover today. Across some of those regions in the snow, we will actually be seeing some winds. But then severe weather, we are covering too. So there was a lot to cover. Flooding rain, severe weather, snow, really cold temperatures. And also, across California, we did not cover it, but I do want to talk about that fire danger. Just definitely, if you're in California, watch out for that fire danger. If you are told to evacuate, please do evacuate. It has been terrible across there the past few weeks. So definitely do watch out there. And then across the upper Midwest, record cold temperatures. Definitely do layer up for your Halloween. I think the weather will be pretty good there for your Halloween. That's one of the areas where it will be okay. You see across the area, New Mexico, you'll probably be okay, but a lot of these states will not. We'll be seeing snow, either snow, rain, or severe weather. So yeah, guys, I hope y'all did enjoy today's video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow.